I'm not going to validate the stupid self-defense claim or say that this guy doesn't deserve to be in prison, okay? I'm not going to say that he's a good person. I'm not going to say that this guy's a total victim. I'm not going to say that he's more of a victim than Austin Metcalf, because obviously Austin Metcalf was the real victim here. What I am going to say is this. I want you to look at the way these people are acting about this case, okay? I want you to see the hatred and the vitriol in these people's hearts, okay? I have been called the hateful person for years and years and years. And I want you to ask yourself this. Have I ever acted as hateful as these people act? Even when I was young and full of rage, did I ever act as hateful as these people act? I don't think so. And I want you to imagine a guy that would be bullied relentlessly for standing down, even though Karmelo is responsible for his own actions. Imagine standing down. Oh, you got bitched up by a white boy. And that's the nature of the toxic black culture. That's the nature of it. You can't stand down when a white guy asks you politely to do something, because in their culture, it's like, you can't tell me what to do. And it's the way these people think. I got friends of mine that ride public transportation, like city buses and stuff. Thank God I don't deal with stuff like that. But they send me videos sometimes, and these guys will have their headphones on, and they'll be like, you know, jamming out to their music. And these guys are vicariously living through these rappers and stuff, okay? These guys are literally on the city bus with their Dre beats on, bobbing their head around, and they're pretending they're in a music video. And these people have completely lost sight of reality. They think they're in a music video. They think they're playing Grand Theft Auto 5. So you see these people's parents. You see these people's community leaders. And can you wonder why you have some guy whipping out a knife and stabbing somebody over a minor argument at a track meet? You wonder why this is happening. Well, look at the people this guy is surrounded by. And so in a very real way, Karmelo Anthony is a victim. He's not a victim of white people, though. He's a victim of toxic black culture all around him. The lack of personal responsibility, the lack of regard for human life, the hatred, poison, vitriol that he's surrounded by. You can see exactly why he thought it was a good idea to do this. Now, I don't want to give him too much credit, okay? I really think he's dumb, okay? I think Karmelo Anthony also suffers from a case of, like, I don't know, not thinking that far ahead. Low IQ, can I say that? I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but whatever, you know? I don't think it's a big stretch to say that the guy is not that smart. But look at the culture he grew up in. Look at the community leaders that he has. Look at these people like Charleston White. Look at these people. Look at this dude that has, like, you got people representing you that have, like, weird child abuse charges and stuff. I mean, it's just weird. And in the mix of things, you probably have a couple of these guys, you know, they probably read the 48 Laws of Power, and they're like, man, if we wear a suit and tie, we can dress all our evil up in a suit and tie. And then, these guys probably really thought that by putting everybody in suits and ties, that they could, like, beat this trial or something. And it's just like, I think that's what they believe would happen. So yeah, this guy was boosted up, okay? This 100%, this guy was boosted up to behave like this, to act like this. If you had just left this dude alone and let him discover himself, I doubt he would have ever done something like this. And look, I've gone into thermonuclear, politically incorrect subjects before, like race and IQ and stuff like that, but for better or for worse, whatever the cause of it, either it be genetics or either it be just bad circumstances we currently live in, there is a toxic black culture that exists. And it's very pervasive. And it's not a small little issue hiding in the corner somewhere. It's in every neighborhood, walking down every street. It's a real issue. Finding one of these guys with Dre beats on, walking down the street, thinking he's some kind of gangster, is easier to find out here than an alligator. And we're in Florida. Real rich people wear something because it's high quality and it feels good. Whereas, like, these gangsta people, they'll buy a pair of pants for $500 and they'll be like, oh, I only wear it one time. And it's basically, it's just things that these people do that are designed to keep them poor. There's a lot of performative crap, okay? There's a lot of, like, trying to make everybody think you're rich when you're really not. There's a lot of showmanship and performance art, and the maturity level of these people, unfortunately, they think they're in a movie, okay? So when something happens like a murder, and there's a high-profile case and there's cameras everywhere, it just further validates this kind of idea that they're in some kind of movie. And it really cranks them up, and they just start acting goofy. And that's really what happened with the Karmelo Anthony case. It's just a bunch of people showing out for the cameras, acting goofy, and meanwhile, a bunch of lives have been ruined, and a bunch more lives have been ruined too, because these people now, they're going to go out and do more illegal things. They're going to try to intimidate jurors. They're going to try to intimidate people and threaten people and this and that. And so many lives are going to get ruined because people don't know how to just be mature about something and handle something. You know, unfortunately, these people really don't know how to conduct themselves in public. They really don't know how to be mature and thoughtful and think things through. And you see this every single day, you know. And it's unfortunate, but they have a culture that is, you know, designed to hold them down. And it's not something we built, it's something that they built. It's the conspicuous consumption, it's the never back down, it's the let's buy a Versace wallet to keep our food stamp card in mentality. It's really, really, really toxic, dumb culture, and it would be a joke if it wasn't getting people killed, but it's getting people killed. And you know, it's just this reckless, wild behavior that nobody wants to be around. And I really don't care if you're black or white or Hispanic or whatever. You know, I'm proud of my own people and my own tribe. That's my position. That's what I believe in. But, I mean, if you see a group of these dudes coming down the road with this mentality, and you're not like one of them, you want to go the other way, okay? Like, powerful, successful people that really matter in the world actually want to avoid these people like the plague. That's what we all have in common, regardless of race. When you see these types of people coming down the road, you're like, I don't want to be around that. And these people are put under an enormous amount of pressure to be as gangsta as possible, and they're made fun of, okay? So, you know, in the case of Karmelo, he is, I think, part of the middle class, okay? He wasn't raised in the ghetto, so he's placed under an enormous amount of pressure. Man, you ain't ghetto, you's a house. Whatever the fuck they're putting in this dude's ear, is they want him to crash out. And it's basically this crabs in a bucket mentality. Anybody out there, really, if you're a father, you need to be very, very concerned about subcultures that promote poverty and violence and destruction and stupid shit, pulling you down. If you're in the middle class, regardless of race, you have these subcultures trying to pull you down. Oh, poverty and violence and destruction and chaos is cool. It's really stupid, okay? There's nothing wrong with, I don't know, being a functional member of fucking society. There's nothing wrong about that. There's nothing wrong with not attacking people, not assaulting people, believing in freedom of speech, letting people have their own opinions, letting people say what you want. If you're on somebody else's property in a place you're not supposed to be and somebody politely asks you to leave, maybe you should just leave. You know, that's maturity. That's actual real status in society. That's, you know, having some class. Not this gangster shit. Oh man, this guy told me to get up, so I'm gonna stab him. That's so low tier. Even higher ranking gang members don't think like that. A real gangster is gonna send, hey man, go handle my light work. Yeah. So I mean, even real gangsters don't think like that. And I've met plenty of them during my 5 years in prison, okay? And the most realistic solution is to get the hell away from these people, to get as far away from them as possible. But unfortunately, that's kind of a feedback loop, okay? Because the further you get away from these people, the more entrenched in their own bullshit they're going to get. So it's there really is no solution. Ultimately, I think we need to pay a little more attention to where social spending goes. Controversial, but if there's people that promote hatred and murder of my people all day, I don't really want to give them money every month. I don't really want to give them food stamps and free health care and all this stuff that they want. I don't really want to give that to people that are misbehaving and trying to kill me. Am I out of line by saying that? That if you hate my people, you hate my culture, and you celebrate every time one of my people is killed, I would rather not have welfare, food stamps, medical card, all that stuff going to you. I'm just being honest. I don't really want to give you money if you're talking about how great it is every time one of my people gets killed. I don't really want to give money to that person. Am I out of line for saying that? I don't think I'm out of line at all for saying that. The discussion could go to, how do we help these people? That's not the right discussion. The discussion that has to happen is, how can these people help themselves? It's not my responsibility to help these people. They have to figure it out themselves. In the meantime, I'm getting as far away from y'all as possible. It's got to be that way. We can still have dialogue over the internet. It's a nice big wall between you and me. We have much better conversations with you way over here and with me way over here. I feel like those conversations are a lot more productive, and they will continue. But in the meantime, I just think we got to go our separate ways for a while. This is a very toxic relationship white people and black people in America have. If this was a marriage, I'd be saying, let's get a divorce, you know? I'm going to go way over here, and then you can stay way over here, and we'll just kind of not be near each other, you know? And I won't be oppressing you, because it's impossible for me to oppress you if I get as far away from you as possible. See what I mean? So you won't have to worry about me oppressing you either. I hope I've given you guys some food for thought about just the toxic, nihilistic consumer culture, unfortunately, that has sort of hijacked the minds of many black people. And I'm hoping that maybe I'm giving you guys some insights into what led up to this, because a lot of conversation goes into the act itself, but not a lot of conversation has really went into what led up to this. And a lot of things led up to this, you know. It's a tale of two families. If that makes any sense. It's a tale of two families. You have one that was raised on Barney and I love you, you love me. You have another family that raises their kids up on the world's out to get you, you need to fight back, the whitey's out to get you, white man's out to get you. And again, bro, it's two different people raised two different ways. And when they come into contact with each other, this is a predictable result. And I'm focused on making sure this doesn't happen in the future. That's my goal, okay? I'm focused on making sure this doesn't happen anymore. So what I'm saying is, white people, if you're watching this, you need to buy property in a rural area and get as far away from these people as you can. That's my advice. Because you see these people are celebrating us being murdered. They think it's funny. So get as far away from them as possible. And if you can vote for somebody that won't give them your money, if you can, you know, get taxes lowered and not give these people money, that'd be cool too. Because giving money to people that celebrate every time you get murdered, I don't really want to give them my money. And if there's any politician that will take that money from them and give it back to me, you got my vote, okay? So I'm just letting you know, now's the time to move as far away from these people as possible. And if there's any politician that will take this free stuff from them and give you the money so you can help support your own family instead of paying for them, I would vote for whoever is willing to do that. That's my advice. And, you know, if you're a black person and you're watching this, you really can't take it personally, because why would you want to support people that celebrate every time one of your people dies? That's insane, okay? So I don't have suicidal empathy. I don't have this crazy altruism where I want to help people that hate me. And I don't want to help people that hate me and want me dead. I'm sorry. I have more self-respect than to want to help people that hate me and want me dead. So I'm not going to do that. But anyways, if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all the good stuff. See you guys in the next one. Check out the merchandise. Jordan Jareb signing off.